All right, on my way to Quartzsite. Just leaving my hotel room in Avondale, just west of Phoenix, and got me some coffee and a little breakfast on the way, and set my cruise control to 80 miles an hour, and speed limit was 75, and I started catching up to this white car in front of me. But a lot of people ask me, why go to Quartzsite? Why go to the middle of nowhere in the desert of Arizona? Well, a couple years ago when I wasn't doing well, and I ended up watching a lot of YouTube videos on van life and nomad lifestyle, and everybody talked about Quartzsite. It's kind of like the mecca where everybody goes. And then there's a thing called the RTR, or the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, that was mentioned a lot. And of course, I watched the Bob Wells videos from Cheap RV Living, and watched the movie No Man Land. And so here I am catching up to this car. Like I said, my cruise control is set at 80, and I was like, I'm going to pass this guy. And so I signaled over, and I said, well, all right, well, I'm going to be able to catch up to the truck and pass him on the right hand side. But he sees me trying to pass him, so he speeds up. I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll speed up a little bit more. And guess what he does? He starts speeding up. He starts taking off, trying to get there before I do. So I'm like, all right, well, I got an 18-wheeler coming up in front of me. So I figure, all right, well, I'm not going to get around this guy, so I'll go around the other way. I noticed the right side was clear, so I gave it a little gas and gunned it. Got up to about 88 miles an hour and started passing the 18-wheeler. And I guess the guy noticed that I was passing on the outside. So I signaled over once I got past the truck, and noticed this guy didn't even signal over, but all of a sudden he sees me, so he starts signaling over. So I slow down to let him in. I figured maybe he has to get off. I got an on-ramp car coming. I got the 18-wheeler behind me, and what's this idiot do? He brake checks me. So of course I got to slam on the brakes and get over real quick. I just don't get people, and all right. Well, back to 80 miles an hour in cruise control, and heading to Quartzsite. But like I said, it's kind of one of those things that if I was gonna do it, I better do it, because if I'm not gonna do it. I just know myself. And sometimes people like crowds, some people don't like crowds. People love it, some people hate it. But I think it's what you make of it. And I know I like my solitude every once in a while, and I figured being out here, you get 14-day free camping, or you can get the seasonal pass, but 14-day free camping, and you're pretty much in a small town where you can go anywhere. You don't have to stay at your campsite. I mean, you can go to I think Parker, you can go to Yuma, you can go to Lake Havasu, you can drive around and just use Quartzsite kind of as your main place of I guess your headquarters. Is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a campsite and then drive around. I'm not going to spend every minute sitting at the campsite doing nothing. I'm going to make a YouTube video, but I mean, I plan on making a drive out to Parker, and out to, I think I was at Ehrenberg, to do some fishing on the Colorado River. So that's that's a couple days worth of stuff right there, and then make a drive up to Lake Havasu. Spend a day up there. So there's stuff to do. I can go into town. I can. And then of course I'm gonna go to the RTR. That's what I came here for. Today is Sunday, so I should be arriving there about 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And I did pre-register online for the RTR, which is the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, hosted by I believe Howa or Cheap RV Living. And I'm already pre-registered, so my name should be on the list. And I gave a donation, so I should be getting my T-shirt when I arrive, which is kind of cool. And I figure, why not? I wanted to go, and they do free classes every day for about a week long on, solar, van maintenance, security, stuff like that. So here I arrived in Quartzsite, and, here's a famous sign that everybody takes a picture with. There's me, and then there's the van. Avocado did great on the road trip here. And here I am at the county park where the RTR is being held. And beautiful day. It turned out to be a beautiful day. I mean, the high I think was only 58, but with the sun it felt like freaking 60, 70 degrees out. I mean, it was hot. I was wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I ended up taking off my sweatshirt and my legs were burning from the sun. I mean, it was just so hot. That's a gentleman from Minnesota I met. But, you know, great grassy field out in the ballpark. And they have a women's RTR, which was just held prior to this one. So this is Sunday. And I got there and got my t-shirt, which was pretty cool. And then, of course, I got a picture with Bob Wells. Well, technically, I got a picture with him. The line was pretty long. I didn't feel like waiting in line. So after the RTR, I jumped back on the road, looking for a place to camp. I knew there's a couple places north of town that I had heard recommendations for, so I drove north a couple minutes, and the first place I went to was High Jolly, which is a 14-day, a couple minutes away, but it was crowdy. So I mean, crowdier more than I really wanted. So I decided I was going to go on to the next spot, where I was really going to plan on going anyways, which is Plamosa Road. And this is a 14-day BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management. And so I found me a nice site. Already had a fire pit, less crowded. There was some RVs around me, and I met a family next to me from Michigan, right there in that Bluebird, the big old bus. And here's my avocado. She did really well, right on the road, handled great. Otherwise, great location, plenty of space, plenty of sites, and this is, you know, January, 15th, so I mean, it's 14th or 15th, sorry. And I set up my prop tent, which is just a little youth tent that I bought at Walmart, which was on clearance for $12, which is just going to hold firewood and one of my cargo containers I took off, so I have two stacked on top of each other, but the other one is right now out by the fire pit right there. But that'll go inside the tent, keeps the weight down. Went into town, had to go visit Silly Al's Pizza and get their pizza special, which was a sausage and mushroom pizza. Surprisingly, it was very good. I was just very surprised. So after dinner, I stopped by a place to get some firewood and enjoyed the sunset, and started a fire, and went to buckle down for the night. I do have to tell you, though, I should have brought my own firewood to start with, because it is pretty expensive out here for some firewood. I bought a wheelbarrow. I mean, it's a small wheelbarrow for like $35. All right, so next morning I got up, beautiful sunrise. There I got all my camping gear up, and got my stove out, starting to make some breakfast. And you see how my setup is in the back. I mean, it's still kind of disorganized, but there's my coffee maker. I already had coffee made, plugged into my Blue Yeti refrigerator sitting there. Got my eggs and everything ready to go and about to cook. Everything runs off the propane, so I have my camp stove hooked up to my 20-pound propane tank. And I also did buy a generator that I waited for before I left my trip, so I haven't even fired it up yet. It's brand new. That also is going to hook up to that propane tank, because it is a dual fuel gas or propane generator. I wanted something to run on propane. So everybody asked me, do I really make these egg sandwiches in the morning? I do. So I have my my toast, my rye toast, and ham and cheese ready on the bread, and I do make open face. Now I use 2 eggs for each side, so total of 4 eggs. You don't have to use 4 eggs if you don't want to. You can use 1 egg each. I'm kind of a big boy and hungry eater, so I like to have a big breakfast. So I got the eggs on. Usually takes about 2 minutes to cook on the one side. I do break the yolk and separate a little bit so I can get the whole pan. Just check the edges. It is a non-stick pan, so use plastic utensils, otherwise you'll scrape off all the coating. And of course, my favorite seasoning is Old Bay. Old Bay is great on pretty much anything, but eggs especially. Give it a little twirl to loosen it up. And like I said, it's going to take a couple minutes. And I do like my eggs to be a little bit soft, but not runny. So we're going to give it a good flip. And then we're just going to let it sit for about a minute here on this side. Just check the edges again. And of course, got to add some more Old Bay seasoning to it on the other side. You should always season both sides of your protein. There she goes. And let that sit for a second or two. And I'll give it a twirl and check the edges here and make sure everything's good. And we're gonna, yep, looks good. Now we're gonna fold her in half. Bam. Now we're gonna twirl this around with the pan just to get into the direction I want, so it fits on the toast good. And then give it a nice little flip. Let it cook the other side, so get that Old Bay seasoning cooked into the egg. And then I turn off the stove just so I don't have an open flame, you know. And time to put her on the bread. And in one nice motion, and slide her off. Bam. There you go. All right, thanks for watching, guys. And the next video will be more about quartzsite and some of the places I'm going to go. Thank you, guys.